how do you sort of stand out with?
So how do you stand out by not standing out?
Sorry?
How do you stand out by not standing out? No, I'm being cheeky. So no, I get.
In our industry, how do you then develop that point of view? And how do you then sort of stand out with it? Because I think, I don't know. Unless you've got I think in our industry, if you've got a really strong personality, like sort of Liam and his TikTok videos have got a really sort of strong theme, like you can sort of see those straight away and you're like, well, that's Liam, he's got the same vibe going on in all of them. But I'm not like that. I'm quite vanilla. And, so how do you sort of stand out?
So how do you stand out by not standing out?
Sorry?
How do you stand out by not standing out? No, I'm being cheeky. So no, I get it. So I can be more specific here. For example, an exercise I would I would recommend you to do is just following that structure. So just for yourself, do a journaling or whatever. It doesn't have to be public, but just for yourself, write things down from a storytelling perspective. So what is the commonly held belief that people have? Everything is changing all the time. That was it, right? What tends to happen? Well, as a consequence, they get super anxious whenever Google changes the fucking button. It's affecting them because they're getting anxious. The proof could be a proof that is scientific or just from your own experience working with X number of customers. And what you propose to do about it will be the solution, which is stop thinking in terms of button moving from Google Ads and start thinking in terms of principles, right? So just getting that muscle moving. And again, I'm not telling you need to be aggressive, you need to be negative, you need to be all of that. So the point of view is really a kind of the thread that creates the narrative of the business. Why are you doing what you're doing, right? At the end of the day, people need to understand that, because if they don't understand why you're here, and therefore it feels chaotic for them. All right. So it's really this thread. That's the first thing. So if you feel you're vanilla, I would disagree with that. I'm pretty sure you have strong point of views. You're just probably afraid of sharing that. And I'm not saying you need to mimic what I do or Ed does or whatever, but it's you can't find your voice in the shadows, right? You can't stand the fuck out in the shadows. You can't plan your way to it. You can't create Excel spreadsheet about it and then have all the answers. Unfortunately, the advice here is to get started, see what sticks, see what feels natural, and then starting to double down on those things. I didn't start in this industry with all of those beliefs and all of those advice and all of those insights. I started like everyone else, wearing a 3-piece suit and playing the role of a consultant, try to be trusted or whatever. I made all the mistakes as well. So it's that's the unfortunate real answer. You've got to stick to a schedule of something, whether it's, I don't know, you can do podcast interviews, you can post every day on LinkedIn, send an email every day or every week. Whatever it is, stick to a process, trust the process, don't look at the results, and just stick to something and see what sticks, right? Because there's no other way to know. So I used to outplan the shit out of stuff. And that used to be to serve my anxiety, right? It gets easier as the feedback loop comes through. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Not really.
It's just, I think it's something that you're going to need to sort of, go away, have a little think. But then I guess, like you say, just keep on doing and seeing. I guess it's something that perhaps naturally evolves as well. You'll have something that feels good to you and that you get, good response with. So then you start to lean to that a little bit more. And then as you do it more, then it'll grow and evolve and you'll get a bit more confident in doing that kind of thing.
That's it. That's the unfortunate answer. So it's the key though is to not take things for granted. So it's very common, you think you're vanilla. I can guarantee, if I quiz you a bit more, I'll find stuff that are not vanilla whatsoever. Because what you're thinking as vanilla is your world is vanilla because you're used to it. That's your thing. That's your brain. That's how you think. Obviously, that's something you're used to it because it's your own fucking brain. But for people outside of your brain, it's not vanilla. There is stuff that are spicy that others people see that you don't see because you take it for granted. And that's usually the key to say, it could be very tiny little things, but those tiny little things could be the difference between, being noticed and not. So we can talk about that. Like there's, you can double down on specific assets, for example, brand assets. We can talk about that in detail if you want.
Yeah. And then I guess also it's one of the things is like tone of voice, like getting a consistent tone of voice in your communications.
No, that's a tomorrow's problem. That's not as important. Like it's just testing things out. Like my tone of voice has evolved many times. I'm sure Ed and everyone else in the call as well. That's overly planning, overly thinking. That's the rational brain trying to solve your anxiety about the future. That's not that important. What's important is why you're here, who you serve, why you serve them, and the little things that people notice about you that you think are vanilla to double down on.